Welcome to another episode of Patriots No Huddle, brought to you by PatsFans.com. Derek Haven, Steve Ballas, Jerry here as your host, as always. Mike Diabate, we're going to have to see what happened, but I know he was busy doing some of his post-game rap. But the Patriots, Steve, just put on a pretty dominant performance against the Washington Commanders, 48-18, in the Patriots preseason opener. And we have a lot to touch on, and we're going to try to do it quickly. It won't be a long show. We'll be back on Wednesday to go ahead and talk about joint practices and set up the latest news and notes for the team. But Steve, first off, how you doing, man?
I'm doing really good. I mean, I'm not going to get too excited over the week one of preseason games, but I just loved the energy tonight. The team came out. I mean, they
kind of firing on all cylinders, Steve.
Yeah, I mean, you could see the energy on the sideline all night long. You could see it on the field. Guys were jumping around. They were playing extremely physical. You and I were talking about that just a moment ago before we went live. And, guys finishing the plays, and they were, especially the Patriots ball carriers, I thought were fantastic tonight about finishing each and every play. And, there was a couple of clinker plays in there, but that's just good for the coaching staff because then they can harp on those first tomorrow morning, when the guys come rolling back in.
Well, Mike Vrabel comes from the Bill Belichick school of coaching football, Steve, and you know that a couple of those clinker plays, as you deemed them, you don't think Vrabel's going to be in the film room tomorrow yelling at the guys for that, and he's going to enjoy every second of it. I thought, to your point, the physicality was huge. I would implore people to look, I think it was right around 9 minutes and 6 seconds. Will Campbell put someone into the ground who I think still might be there. I thought the receivers and the running backs, both positions, any ball carrier, were putting guys into the ground, and I just think, Steve, it kind of, I don't know how I want to say it, but I guess it's just about players kind of emulating what Mike Vrabel wants to bring to this offense and to this team in general. Defense too, and we're going to get to the defense. We're going to talk about both, but I think the team emulated tonight what Vrabel said that he wanted to bring to this team and to go ahead and build this culture and foundation from the ground up.
Mm-hmm. And, just looking at the entire team, the way they were, the energy level for the Patriots, I thought was much better than the Commanders. I thought the Commanders looked really flat from the opening kickoff, obviously, right? But I think the Patriots, I mean, I look at some of these younger guys. You mentioned Will Campbell, at the 9-minute mark. I thought he played well the entire time he was in there, and especially in the running game. I mean,
he was a road grader tonight.
Yes. And another guy I want to talk about is DeMontre Jacobs, who caught a lot of flack last year, and rightfully so. He didn't play well.
But I thought had a good night.
I thought he looked really good on those quick toss runs to the outside. He was getting out there. He was blowing people up and 10 yards downfield. That's the kind of stuff that, as an offense, you can hang your hat on, because when you can run the ball like that, it's making the quarterback's job much easier. Overall, I thought the offensive line, they ran the ball really well. I wasn't overly impressed with the wide receiver group, except for Efton Chisholm.
Yep.
There wasn't. Chisholm and Giles, excuse me, were the only two wide receivers catch a ball tonight.
Yeah, we're gonna go position by position here shortly, and we can do it in rapid fire motion.
Yeah.
I do want to thank everyone who's listening live to Patriots No Huddle here. Please do subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or our PatsFans.com YouTube page. We do appreciate it. Excited to have football back. Steve, let's just run through it, each group. Okay, we'll just run through each one. So I thought Drake May had a nice little scamper in for a touchdown, one or two nice balls. Put the ball on the ground though, which is a huge concern. He's gotta clean that up.
That's what Mike's going to lead off with tomorrow.
Yep, no doubt. Joshua Dobbs, I thought, had kind of a rough night. I don't think Ben Wooldridge did anything, really to write home about.
Well, he started off. I thought he looked shaky at first.
Yeah, he did, but that's to be expected.
I thought that the longer he was in there,
the more he kind of settled down a little bit.
Yep, and he found his running backs and Chisholm, who made a couple of really nice catches. And catch after run after the catch. And, with Giles too, Giles had a couple of nice catches. That one crosser was really nice. That was really nice. That was a really nice throw by Wooldridge. But we don't expect him to be on the roster. He's going to be a practice squad guy, but I don't think he did anything to hurt his stock whatsoever. I think he ended up 9 of 12 and, and like you said, he settled down after a little bit of a shaky start,
which is kind of to be expected.
He's a rookie.
UDFA quarterback learning a new offense, first game. The lights are bright. It's
you have a mishmash of players in there.
Right.
So
everyone's trying to get on the same page.
Yeah. But, I thought he was okay. By the end of the game, I was thinking, man, he made a couple of nice throws in there. So, your quarterbacks, I thought they were all right. It wasn't a great night, but it was an okay night for the quarterbacks.
Steve, I got bad news for you.
Mm-hmm.
I had to go to the ER because I actually broke my arm patting myself on the back. Because my boy, Travion Henderson, started the game off with a touchdown on the kickoff return. And man, talk about someone who is showing his explosiveness, lateral agility, his speed. Man, I think he's going to be such a good fun fit in this Josh McDaniels offense.
Oh, my God. And the funny thing is, for our listeners out there, Derek and I were on the phone at the kickoff. But unbeknownst to me, Derek was on like a 15-second delay. So while I was yelling about the kickoff return, he hadn't even seen the Washington kicker kick it yet. So I kind of blew that out of the water for him.
It gave me just enough time, Steve, for me to take my pants off and start doing cartwheels on the sidewalk down the street, yelling, "I told you so."
That guy has.
What?
Once he hit the 20-yard line, I was like, as you remember on the phone,
you just said it. You just said it before the show. He started on the left and then cut all the way over to the right side. And he was gone and left guys in he was leaving guys in phone booths. Like it was incredibly impressive. And
that burst. Yeah.
That burst is something they haven't had in a while. And that was exciting to have. So that's going to be a fun one. I thought, Stevenson had some carries. Gibson had some carries. I did think it was interesting, Steve. I don't know what you thought about this, that they had a lot of packages with 2 running backs, a tight end, and a couple of receivers. Looks like they were trying to diversify that. I think that is going to be a very popular formation for them. I don't know if you have anything to add to that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they were showing that they want to be able to run the football, and they were able to do that tonight.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, there's still a long way to go. We're not chalking them up as the number 1 run team in the NFL here, but it was a excellent start for them.
Yeah.
I thought that, and you already brought this up. I mean, the way the ball carriers were finishing their runs, so physical.
I mean, even Laren Larison, who you brought up pre-show, I thought he had a good night at the end of the night. I mean, even he was finishing off his runs and really he could have scampered out of bounds or avoided contact, but he was making sure that the defender, kind of felt his presence as he went down to the ground.
Yeah, I thought all the ball carriers ran really hard tonight. Again, I mean, I don't know if Larson is going to fit or stick, I should say. But he can play. Yeah.
I think, we were talking before the show. I mean, him and Efton Chisholm both, I think we both agree that they can play. It's just about can they fit on the roster? I mean, it's just, again, a numbers game. So that'll be interesting. I thought that Will Campbell in the running game, Steve, looked good. Finished his blocks, kind of came as advertised. I thought Jared Wilson starting at left guard was, I don't know if I want to say noteworthy, but as we have a positional battle there, I think it's worth mentioning.
The funny thing is their best runs were to the left.
Yep. Yeah, and they're both great run blockers.
Yeah, two rookies. There's going to be growing pains, obviously, but I thought that those two held up really well for their first NFL game. Granted, it's preseason. We're not putting it, as Bill Parcells used to say, we're not putting him in the Hall of Fame.
We're not putting him in Canton.
But, it was a good start. I thought it was a good start overall for the whole team. The return game was unbelievable tonight.
Yeah, no, we're gonna keep picking through this thing. So the center, Garrett Bradbury, he was only in there for I forget how many series because I didn't get a chance to chart it, but he was the starting center. Then you had the right guard. We knew on we know Morgan Moses didn't play, which isn't surprising because he's a veteran. And
Marcus Bryant played pretty well.
I thought so too. Did you think you mentioned DeMontre Jacobs playing pretty well, Steve? But Bryant was in there first, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Did you think that was noteworthy, or I don't know if you have a theory behind it?
It was noteworthy. The fact that they started the game with 3 rookies on the offensive line, and I looked at the way they were running the football, and I thought it was really good. The passing game had some hiccups throughout, but again, we'll go through the positions. I thought Kyle Williams, he was targeted 4 times. He didn't catch any.
I'm glad you brought him up because I thought he had a good night. I know the stat sheet's not going to show it, but
exactly,
he was getting behind the defensive backs. The throws were just not getting to him
or behind him. That one in the end zone was way behind him.
I thought he looked good on his routes.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it, he could have had that one long pass where he was definitely had a step on the corner, a better thrown ball, and that's a big gainer. And he dusted that guy at the goal line. He had an easy step and a half on him.
Right.
And all Dobbs had to do was hit him in stride, and he threw the ball way behind him. And
Dobbs had a really brutal night. I mean, I know I don't want to beat up on him too much. It's a preseason game and everything, but he had a really rough one.
Yeah, the timing isn't there yet, as you could see. I mean, but I.
But he's new to the room. To be fair, he's new to the room, and there's a lot of guys new in that receiver room, so they're trying to figure out the chemistry and everything. It's not going to just be perfect.
I thought for a guy not catching the football, Williams had a good night.
Yeah, no, I think it's one of those. It's just one of those games, Steve, where it's not gonna show up, but I thought Williams had a good night.
But those plays are going to be there.
Yeah, nothing really from the tight end room tonight. I don't think.
No, he only threw to Hooper that one time.
Yep. But I mean, it was kind of a quiet night for them, and that's fine. It's not. I wouldn't say it's
one interesting note. A couple of times I saw early in the game where they had Jack Westover, the reserve tight end, in at fullback.
Yep. So he could be a dark horse for that role too that we've been talking about, because we feel like that's going to be a position that they could potentially kind of play with and tinker with that fullback third tight end role.
Mm-hmm.
And I did think that's a good point by you. I'm glad you brought that up, because it did look like something that they could bring up. So that it was interesting. I'm trying to think of anything else. Again, we already talked about Efton Chisholm, but I do think similar to Kyle Williams, his numbers won't jump off the page at you, but I do think that he showed his ability to get open. And if you go back and look at the game and you look at the highlights, there's a couple of those. It's classified in different offensive schemes as different things, but a lot of times you call them whip routes. And it's actually the one that Julian Edelman caught against the Seahawks in 2014 on the left-hand side of the end zone. And it's kind of like a breakout to the outside, cut to the right side, turn around on a dime, and then break out. It's like an out route, but it's just like a little like hook. And I thought Chisholm did that a couple of times tonight, and his lateral agility, Steve, is impressive.
Yes, very much so. So again, I thought it was a good night for him. I mean, he didn't do anything to hurt himself, and his stock for making the team tonight. I know they had a couple of guys hurt. They were being cautious with Stephon Diggs. Again, the one pass to Mac Hollins, I thought if it was thrown a little bit, again, we're nitpicking here, but if it was thrown a little bit higher, he had a good chance to come down with that in the corner of the end zone there.
I want to give Stephon Diggs a little credit. I mean, I know he didn't play, but when there were big plays going on, I saw him cheering guys on the sidelines. I saw him dapping guys up, when they came off the field, and
even the defensive backs when they intercepted the ball.
Yeah, and I give him credit for that. He's yeah, I mean, all teammates should be doing that, but he does have kind of a I don't know. I don't know if reputation's the right word, Steve, but there's kind of an air about him, and he's coming off injury, and he does seem to be moving well, and there's no reason to have him out there in a preseason game,
No.
but to have him, hyping up his guys on offense, celebrating with the guys on defense, it just seems like he's really, really fitting in. There was a video of him and Mike Vrabel giving each other a little bit of a handshake at the start of practice before the joint practice with the Commanders, and it just seems like he's fitting in nicely with the team, which is great to see.
Yeah, he's buying in, so that's always a good thing.
Buying in for him is key. So,
and let me tell you what we talked, about the kickoffs. Let's go to the special teams. I mean, John Parker Romo's 57-yarder. That
he had a really good night.
Yeah, both kickers did. I mean, they were 8 for 8 between each of them had 3 PATs, and they each had 1 field goal. Now, Borregales' field goal was just, I think it was 32 or 33. So glorified extra point, but that 57-yarder, because when they were setting up, I was like, damn, this is not an easy kick. And kudos to him,
Well, let me ask you this. Steve. Like, if you're listening, whether you're listening live or recorded, we're doing kicker talk right now. But let me ask you this, Steve. I would say, this is just my opinion, and you tell me how you feel. Borregales has been, from what's been reported, been doing good. And I think it would be hard to justify cutting him, given the fact they drafted him.
Mm-hmm.
But Romo, he's at least he came up, when the lights were on, he showed up and he produced.
The only thing I would say, that when Romo kicked off, the kicks were short.
Yeah.
Borregales was putting it right there on the goal line.
And it depends. I know there's strategy behind it, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm a special teams expert. But if Romo won the job, Steve, do they have Behringer do it?
I don't know. Behringer, his 2 punts weren't impressive tonight.
No, he had I would say an overall rough night, if I had to judge a player.
Because he wasn't getting that booming hang time he normally gets.
Yep.
And they were both kind of short for him. The long one was 41, and I think the other one was only 38. So
that's definitely something to talk about.
We look for that to improve here. Sure.
I thought the coverage on both punt and kick returns were both solid tonight overall. And you really only had the one big return, but I thought overall special teams fared pretty well tonight, Steve.
Yeah, they did. And they had the big return from Henderson. Then they got a big one from Gibson. I mean,
Gibson had the other one too. Yep.
I think it was 67 or 69 yards that he returned the other kickoff. And
I apologize. That was good call by you. I messed that one up. But
again, I mean, one of the plays I was impressed with on special teams, and he's been getting a lot of play as the gunner opposite Brendan Schooler, is Javon Baker. And he went down and made a really nice tackle, a real physical tackle.
I thought it
And
was interesting, and I'm actually really, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I actually am super happy you brought that up because kind of similar to Mike Reese, when Scott Zolak says things on the broadcast, my ears perk up a little bit because I know how tight he is with the team. And he made a lot of comments about Javon Baker. And we're already talking about a tight receiver room. Like, I'm wondering if they're going to keep 7 receivers, which sounds crazy. But I can kind of see it. If Javon Baker can do that, then that's going to be something that's going to be talked about.
well, I mean, you talk about a way to make sure you're on the football team. If you're a gunner on the special teams unit, that's a very important job. And we saw Matthew Slater do it so well for so long. And if they could have 2 guys like that, that's going to really help that. But, let's go on to the defense.
Yeah, let's do it because we've already gone 26 minutes and we said we were going to keep it to 30, which obviously isn't happening. So let's rip through it. I was excited about the front 7, interested about the front 7 and what they're going to bring. I'm a little worried about your boy Anthony Jennings, which we talked about before because of his fit with the defense. But
Well,
I thought Roberts.
he
What?
played most of the game.
I know, which could be either a good or a bad thing.
Well, normally when a veteran like him is playing late into the 4th quarter, unless there's injuries out there, you kind of think that, maybe they're showcasing him for a trade.
Yeah,
Or,
I would tend to agree with you. Milton Williams had a nice play.
Mhm.
I thought they looked aggressive. I thought they were tackling well. We'll get to the defensive backs here in a minute, but I thought the front 7, Steve, looked like a Mike Vrabel defense, and I think people should be excited about what this defense is going to bring to the table.
Yeah, there was a couple of plays where they just missed getting guys in the backfield for big losses. Again, that might come down to just timing. But overall, I thought the front 7 played well. I thought they defended the run okay. There was a couple of runs in there where they didn't set the edge, and that happened to be when Anthony Jennings got put back in the game because that's his ballywick right there, right? Setting the edge in the running game. They got burned on one run where I forget who was on the edge on that particular play, but he tripped and took out another player with him. And then the Commanders busted a big run to the right side. And it was right after that Jennings was put back in.
Yep. I thought of
But
the
I mean,
defense.
we're nitpicking here. I mean,
Well,
but overall,
we got time. I mean, we're New Englanders. We have to nitpick. I mean, what else are we gonna do? So
no, I thought the front 7 played well.
and they're gonna play downhill. And I think that they're gonna be aggressive. And I think you saw a little bit of it on display tonight. Now, keep in mind, people, that in the preseason, coaches and teams aren't like the Patriots didn't go into this game being like, we're going to game plan against the Commanders.
No.
They're not going against that. The coaches talk before games and they're trying to figure out what's the best way they can help each other out and evaluate their own team. Like, that's essentially what they're trying to do. The secondary, Steve, I thought was interesting. I think Jabril Peppers.
He's such a good fit for this defense.
Oh yeah, I think Jabril Peppers displayed tonight, Steve. You don't want to take too much away from preseason games, but I think he displayed tonight why he's such a good fit for this defense and why he's such a good fit for Mike Vrabel. And if you talk about that big nickel or kind of like star position, he showed you what he can do, and he had one or good lick or two on a few Commanders players tonight that are
Oh
going to
yeah.
be needing some ice after the game, and I think he's a perfect fit for this team, and I do think he's going to be in the mix for that. I thought Jalen Hawkins had himself a nice night as well.
A couple of big tackles out there.
Couple of good, a couple of good hits.
Yeah, they played a lot of 3 safety look tonight, which was interesting. And
well, I think that I don't mean. I'm sorry to cut you off, but like I think that is part of like the Vrabel defense, right? Where they're going to bring some like they want guys crowding the line of scrimmage. They want to make people make like business decisions, So they want to come down and they want to crash people and they want to hit people, and I thought they showed that tonight.
And the backup corners, I thought, all accounted for pretty well for themselves tonight. Yeah, there was some plays here and there, but
Well, you're
overall,
going to win some, you're going to lose some.
Yeah, but overall, these guys that are all fighting for jobs, I thought they acquitted themselves really well. DJ James once again comes up with a big play. That was a really, really good play on his part.
Is he a dark horse to make this roster, Steve? I think he could be.
He might not be a dark horse much longer.
No, if he keeps making plays, like if we hear about it and versus the Vikings and we see it next week in the second preseason game, I'm starting to think that he's going to be a player on this team.
Yeah, I mean, we hear and see the clips of him whenever he gets in there in the practice. He's always making plays. Made a big one tonight. He read that perfectly, jumped it, and almost took it to the house.
Well, he plays with that physicality and attitude that I think Vrabel really likes. And, I think that you have Marcus Jones as kind of like your special teamer, slot corner. We know what Carlton Davis and Christian Gonzalez are going to do. I think Alex Austin has been building. DJ James has been making plays. We know in the secondary room, they're playing with a bunch of corners. So you have Peppers, you have Duggar. They drafted Craig Woodson. They're going to carry 9 defensive backs, probably. So, I think DJ James right now is the name not talked enough about for the New England Patriots.
Thought Alex Austin had a good game too.
Yeah. And he's continued to stack days.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do you want to say? You want he was stacking weeks last year, then he was stacking days in camp, and now he has a good first preseason game. So that should not be ignored.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, I really like this coaching staff. Thomas Brown, who they talked to in mid-game, very impressive.
Oh, I thought he carried. He's the tight ends coach, correct?
He's the tight ends coach, passing game coordinator.
Yeah, and he had a connection with Vrabel before this.
Yep.
And I thought in his interview, I'm glad you brought that up. I thought in his interview he came across very, I don't know if steady is the right word, but very confident, but not in a cocky way, Steve.
Yeah, and that's him, right? I mean, that's what we've heard about him. He's very knowledgeable. He's he's kind of like he's cut from the same cloth like Vrabel, and no, I like the way the coaches approached the game tonight. It was kind of vanilla, but they mixed in a little bit here and there, and I just liked how they mixed and matched all night long, and it was a great start for them. Um, you know, you score 48 points, regardless if it's preseason or not, then you're doing a lot of things well, and they did that tonight. So hopefully, when they head off to Minnesota for the joint practices next week and the preseason game number 2, then they'll be in even better shape after week 2.
Absolutely. Steve, I'm trying to think of what else I want to talk about. I guess I know one thing I want to end the show with, and we can talk about. But anything from the game that you want to discuss?
Well, I think we've covered most everything in the game. I do think that the pre-game statue unveiling was pretty cool.
That was what I was going to bring up next. So let's just roll into that. So for the statue, Steve, I didn't put it together, and maybe I'm just stupid for this because, as my wife will tell you, I'm not the brightest bulb. But I didn't really think why they made the Tom Brady statue 12 feet tall until I was like, oh yeah, well, he's number 12. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
All right. And I was really scared to see what kind of position or how he was going to be chiseled in there, because I was scared they were going to throw it away. There's the Cristiano Ronaldo one. There's the Dwayne Wade one. The Dwayne Wade one looked absolutely horrible. The Ronaldo one looked like he was in the microwave for about 30 seconds too long.
So I thought it was a good representation of Brady's face.
Yeah, they did a good job of that. I was kind of hoping he was going to be in his helmet. I was kind of hoping he was going to do the fist pump, because I just feel like that's like the LFG, like Tom Brady. Here we go. But I still thought it was a good one. I loved his commentary about the Jets, and I thought the whole speech and presentation was well done.
Yeah. Well, he had to take a dig at the Jets. So
yeah. When they leave the game once a year, probably in the second quarter, maybe the third, they can throw beers at the statue. Yeah, I love that. I love that. As a petty Patriots fan, I found that totally entertaining. So I certainly enjoyed that. I could have kissed him on the lips for that one. So just make one more dig at the Jets. One last.
There'll be plenty of fights around that statue this season.
Oh yeah, I'll be in one of them. I'll be in one of them. Steve, I have bail money in my safe. I'll text you. I'll text you the safe password. I'll be in one of those this year. There's no doubt in my mind. I'm not afraid to throw a couple of hands. I know you're military trained, but I can hang. So, any final thoughts from you?
No, I think we should probably wrap this up because I have to be at work in a couple of hours. So,
considering it's midnight Eastern, yeah, I get that. Well, I want to thank everyone who listened to Patriots No Huddle. Please do subscribe to us on Apple, Spotify, or Pats Fans channel on YouTube. We're excited that the season's underway. We got a 48-18 victory by the New England Patriots over the Washington Commanders tonight. And I believe we're going to be back here on Wednesday midweek to get ready for our next preseason game as the Patriots gear up for their joint practice with the Minnesota Vikings. So that'll be fun to talk to. For Steve Ballestieri, I'm Derek Havens. Mike Diabate, hopefully you are safe.
Or as Mike says, be the change you want to be.
Be the change you want to be in the world. There you go. Absolutely. So brought to you by PatsFans.com. Steve Ballestieri, Derek Havens. We will see you guys soon here in just a couple days. Have a great night and go Pats.
Go Pats.